Hello everybody, this is Michelle Fox and welcome back to The Simple Quilter. Today is another exciting day here because today is the February Sew Along Monthly Magic, and I'm going to be showing you what mug rug we're going to be doing today. Now I do want to show you last month's. If you haven't started, you can still go back and do last month's. It was a little stocking cap. Just super cute and super fun. Okay, let me show you the mug rug for February. Okay, drum roll please. Here comes February, and it is super cute also. Okay, here you go. A cute little piece tart. You can pick whatever colors you want. I have a couple of other color options to show you as we go along. But it's just a piece little heart. Now I've done videos on larger piece tarts. If you'd like to see those, I'll put a link up above. But this is just a smaller version of the piece tart. And then I've kind of followed the same thing here that I did in the other mug rug. Okay, so, and here's my little diagram. Okay, so let's go over the fabric cuts that you're going to need. Okay, so these fabrics right here are for this part of the mug rug, and you're going to need 5 pieces, and those will be 1 3/4 by 4 inches. So again, you'll need 5 of these that are 1 3/4 by 4 inches. All right. Then for the 2 pieces of the heart here, you are going to need 2 squares that are 2 3/4 inch squares. And that's again for these 2 pieces of the heart. Now you're going to need 4 1-inch squares because we're going to be snowballing those corners. Okay, for the second part of the heart, you're going to need 4 squares. 2 in your background color, which I chose as white, and 2 in the other colors for the bottom of the heart. Now I cut mine 4 inches and I trimmed off a lot, so you could cut your squares down to probably, well, I always do at least an inch more, and these are 2 3/4, so you're going to need to do 3.5 to 3 3/4, but I did 4-inch hearts because I like to trim mine down. Okay, and then for the sides here, you're going to need 2 pieces that are 1.5 by 5 inches. And I cut those in just in my background fabric. And you're going to need 2 pieces that are 1.5 by 7 inches. Okay. So let's get started and let me show you how I've done this heart. Okay, now the first thing we're going to make are this right here. Okay, and you're just going to take your pieces and you're just going to lay them out in whatever pattern you want, and you're going to sew them together. But let me show you how much fun this can be. I could also have done pink and gray. In this one I did the red and the black. You can do bright pink and purple. You can use any colors you want for Valentine's Day. Now, I really did like the pink and gray. See how that would look together? really, really pretty neat. And see how this one looks together. Playing with the color was a lot of fun. Okay, so that's the first part, and you're just going to sew them all together, and then I just press the seams one way. Okay, the next thing we're going to make are the top pieces of the heart. And all you're going to do is you're going to take your little squares and you're going to draw a line diagonally from corner to corner. You're going to pin these on here. And you're going to sew right on that line. Once you've sewn on the line, you're going to trim 1/4 of an inch off. And you're going to do that on both pieces of your heart. Then you're going to take those pieces, again, you're going to trim off 1/4 of an inch right there. You're going to trim that off, and then you're going to just press it back. So it's going to look like that on the back. Then you're just going to take these two and you're just going to sew them together. Take them. Now here's a little tip for you. You're going to want to press down here, and then on this one you're going to want to press the flap up so that it nests well when you put those together. Okay? So that it nests well, and you're going to just sew your seam. Then when you're done with that, you should have the piece that looks just like this. The next thing you're going to do is make your half square triangles. So you're going to take your background fabric, be sure you've got the wrong side, and you're just going to draw a line from corner to corner, just like that. Just like that. Then you're going to take your colored fabric, whatever pieces you've chosen here, one of these two, and you're going to put it together with right sides together. Then you're going to sew 1/4 of an inch on either side from the line that you drew down the middle. Okay, once you have that done, and you're going to want to do that for both pieces, so you're going to need your 2 background squares and your 2 colored squares. So you're going to do this with both sides of your heart. Okay, then you're just going to put your ruler on that line that you drew, and you're just going to cut these in half. And you're going to press them open. Now once you have them pressed nice and flat, you're just going to trim this down to 2 3/4 inches. And like I said earlier, you don't have to have a 4-inch heart like I did. You can see I've trimmed quite a bit down, but I like to trim my stuff down so it's the exact size that I need. Okay, and then there is your heart, and you're going to have 2 hearts that look just like that. Okay, so this is the bottom piece of your heart, and you're just going to take these 2, put them together, press one up towards the dark and one towards the light so that they nest really well together, and you're simply going to sew them together. So you're going to end up with a piece that looks like this. Okay, and as you can see, one seams towards the dark and one seams toward the light, so those will nest well. And you can press these seams open if you'd like. I just don't press seams open very often. It would make it lay perhaps a little bit flatter if you did that, but that's simply your preference. Okay, so we have our two pieces of our heart. We have the bottom, and we have the top, and all we're going to do is just put those together. You press one seam toward one side, one seam towards the other, so that you can match those right up and sew those. Then when you're just going to sew your seam right across there, and then you're just going to open it right up and press it. Okay, and once you have that pressed good, I didn't get that pressed very good. Once you have that pressed, then you're just going to start adding your outside pieces. You're going to take your 1.5 by 5, you're going to put it on the sides and sew those on first. Then you're going to press them back. Then you're going to add the top and the bottom piece. And you're going to press those really good. And you're going to end up with a piece that looks like this. So this should be a 7-inch square piece. Okay, so the next thing to do is to sew these two pieces together. But I need to press that one better too, and that needs a little starch. Okay, so, but before we do that, I'm going to trim this down. This piece right here, this was 1.5, so now it's 1 1/4. And I'm going to trim that down to just 1 inch before I sew my pieces on. Okay? So I'm going to sew that on, and then I'm going to press it out flat. Okay, so once you have this sewn together, you're just going to take your background, your backing and your batting, and you're just going to baste these together and then quilt it however you want it quilted. Now once you have it all quilted, I then trim mine down to 6 by 9. So that means that you're going to be trimming off of both sides. And remember, I trimmed a little bit off here, so I left 1 inch there. So I'm going to leave 1 inch on this side. I'm going to trim that down. You can trim it down however you want. I like to have enough on this side to set a cup or a mug. And then all that is left is it needs to be bound. That's really all up to you how you want to trim it. And then you just bind it, and there you go. So in the comments below, tell me if you got January's done, and let me know what you think about February's mug rug. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, please share with a friend, and as always, leave a comment. I love to get the comments, and I try to reply to each and every one. So until next time, have fun quilting.